Kolonji Murray with TaxAssurances. Just want to do a helpful video around business deductions. So every so often I sit down with business owners, whether they've just started a business where they can take the incorporation, paperwork, as well as, well, not even just the paperwork, but the cost. If they're buying computers, if they are buying supplies, if they're renting out space. They come to me and they ask, what can I take as a deduction? So obviously one of the things I'm going to tell them is, you can start with those deductions. But one of the things that I really kind of pride myself on when it comes to that type of preparation process is really diving deep into what happened during the year. So this happens more so with more established business owners who are really busy, usually within the, they've had the business for a couple of years. And it's a situation where they're so ingrained with everything that's going on, they're taking care of all the responsibilities, that they kind of lose track of what they can and cannot deduct. So what I do is I really sit down with them and go over kind of what they can deduct. So what I'll do is I'll have them go through their bank statements, I'll have them go through their credit card statements, I'll have them go through like their emails, I'll have them bring in their spouse, I'll have them bring in their assistant, and then that way what we can do is we can really figure out and drill down not just what they recognize as expenses, but what they have as expenses that they may not even realize that is a business deduction. And many times, after that initial meeting, even after the second meeting, they'll go back, because I kind of push them sometimes because they're always looking for deductions, but they'll go back, they'll find other deductions, and it helps us really make sure that we put our best foot forward. And the other beautiful part about that process is one of the things that they now realize is that they do want to have a tracking system in place. That way they can have those expenses as deductions and do it on a consistent basis. So whether they're going to use a software package, whether they're going to use a journal, whether they're going to use Excel, any number of tools that are going to allow them to really kind of keep track of what their expenses are on a regular basis. And then that way when it comes tax time, they can, give me the right information, and the information is going to get them the best return or the best results possible. The other thing about that process is it also helps manage their business. So it's where, they're trying to figure out like what's going on, and they're so worried about the operations that sometimes they lose sight and they lose the financials of what's going on with the business. So a process like this actually helps kind of bring them back in place, especially if there's like a pressure involved where they're looking to file the taxes. They don't necessarily want to do it, but all of a sudden like they now have to address it. So again, it's a situation where we'll sit down, we'll go through everything. And the other thing is, the most important part is making sure that there are legitimate business expenses. Sometimes people may try to stretch it and try to take personal benefits and try to have them as deductions. Obviously the IRS kind of frowns on that. But as long as you can say to not just me as the tax preparer, but to the IRS, to, if there's for some reason an audit of some sort, that you can legitimately say that this expense that I have here was legitimate for the business. And as long as you can make that case, you'll get that deduction. I hope that helps. If you've got more questions, by all means, you can reach out. But until then, take care.